Why Jadon Sancho should not be Manchester United new number 7. This is Premier 7 and I want to have a say on this. So make we see what go on. Welcome to Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, and I am here to do a small presentation on why Jadon Sancho should not be Manchester United new number 7. And this is a talk on the player profile. We all know that the transfer window has opened, but there has been a lot of ups and downs, and it is very stressful on the fans' side because, when you want your team to get some deals wrapped up and, nothing is taking place, it makes you furious. So I know that the stress is upon everyone who are football fans, and I just want to pull you away from that and speak about a smaller stress, and that is on Jadon Sancho. So, Jadon Sancho, as I've said before, this will be based on a player profile of this player. So, let's have a general talk first and foremost as to why this player should not. And we all know that statistics, it doesn't say everything, but it proves something. So before I go into the details about the transfer market, for me, Jadon Sancho is a player that I believe would have been a revelation at Manchester United. Many persons saw how well he performed when he was at Dortmund. He was full of flair, he had pace, he knew when to make the passes, he knew when to shoot. He could have played on any hand, left or right hand, but things have changed since he came to Manchester United. Many persons thought that when he arrived, he would have been that player who could brought something new because he was a player who was said to be the new number 7. And of course, Manchester United at that time did not have a good right winger. And we all thought that Sancho would have been that player to bring something new to that position. However, Sancho is a shadow of himself. For sure, wearing the number 7 shirt, it comes with pressure once you're going to play at Manchester United. And at the time when Sancho wanted to sign for Manchester United, he did, but the shirt was given to Edinson Cavani. And I don't think it was a bad decision to do so. For Sancho, I think by now we know his age. 25 of March 2000 was his date of birth, and currently he's 23. He's a left winger, surprisingly, and Manchester United brought him as a right winger. But the focus is on his statistics. Looking down here on his appearance, 26 appearances, 6 goals, 3 assists, 55 starting 11, 50 minutes, 16 goal participation. And scrolling down, we can see here that his main position, as I've said before, is the left wing position. However, Sancho value went down from about £75 million to €45 million. This was updated a few days ago. That shows that Sancho isn't the Sancho that many persons thought he would have been. And for the fans who are huge fans of Manchester United, it must be tiring for you all to be watching a player who has not been the same as he should have been before. And the number 7 shirt is a shirt that is filled with pressure. And based on Sancho's situation, I don't think Sancho is that main man who is really and truly ready to take on that shirt. Based on this source that you're seeing here on my screen, I am going to take us back to the time when Sancho had to take his time away from social media and try to improve his confidence and get back himself on track, because we can all remember the World Cup that occurred in 2022 where Argentina did it. But England did not select Sancho. And let's have a say on the source. So Eric Ten Hag, I will not push Jadon Sancho into early Manchester United return. Remember, Sancho, he wasn't selected by the coach to play for England in that World Cup. England had a very good squad in there, but Sancho, he did not make it. And it was a huge disappointment for him. It reminds me of when Martial wasn't selected for France in those days under the management of Mourinho. But here, where you see the highlighted here, Sancho back in Manchester United after 8 weeks away. Sancho returned to United on Monday after spending the past 8 weeks away from the club on an individual training program, which included working with coaches from the Dutch amateur club OJC Ronsmalen, trusted by Ten Hag. That source basically proved, and this was from the Telegraph, it basically proved that Sancho isn't in that form of shape to really and truly take on a pressuring number like number 7. Because generally, if a player wants to play in number 7 shirt at Manchester United, you realize that over the years these players flop. Not all, but some. Memphis was a flop. I think Di Maria wore the number 7. He flopped. I think Ronaldo wasn't his real self when he came back, but he did not flop. And others did fail in that iconic number that was worn by Beckham, of course, CR7, and a few other Manchester United players. Generally, for Sancho, I think his confidence is his biggest issue. Because I watch Manchester United games at times, and the basic things that Sancho should be doing, like to pass the ball to a Rashford or to a Fernandez or to a Ericsson, he overthink and sometimes he lose the ball. Maybe a lot of time he lose the ball. And that really and truly affect those who are watching the game and those who are playing the game, even the coach. And Sancho, it affects his confidence. You can see it many times. He's a player for which I really like, but things aren't what it should be for him. And many persons have been saying that, it is best to even loan him out, sell him, and it is somewhere right there because preseason, Sancho was the man. He was playing very well alongside Martial and Rashford within that famous front three. Things happened whereas Martial was injured, and all of those things caused the club to be in another problem. So I have something to share as well. Who should be Manchester United new number 7? Before I dive into such details, I just want to say that there are many options who can wear the number 7 shirt, but it is up for grabs. It is up for grabs. But let's see what another source have to say. Manchester United go back on Jadon Sancho promise as they a new number 7 to replace Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United could go back on their promise to Jadon Sancho for the third time as they attempt to find a successor for the club's historic number 7 shirt. And this was published yesterday in the Mirror, a very reliable source for a news publication. Over the years, as I've mentioned earlier on, David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, George Best and Eric Cantona, those two players as well were very much top class players who wore the number 7 shirt. And whenever you saw those players in that 7, you have to say this number is special because in football, we all know that we should not play for the number, but some numbers are iconic. The number 10 that Messi wears. The number 9 is for the striker. And there could be other numbers, but the number 9, the number 7, and the number 10 are well known numbers. So Manchester United are thinking about other players who could occupy the number 7 shirt because guess what? It has not been worn since Ronaldo left to the club in Saudi Arabia, right? Al Nasser. So, according to the Manchester Evening News, the club are considering making Alejandro Garnacho the club's new number 7 for next season. He enjoyed a standout breakout campaign at Old Trafford last term. The Argentine, just 18, made 34 appearances in all competitions for the Red Devils, scoring 6 goals and providing as many assists. He was rewarded with a 5-year contract back in April. There's Garnacho, right? So, what's your thought on this? Do you think that Sancho, having come into Manchester United, wanting to seal his signature, at that time, he was purchased at 73 million pound from Dortmund, and he wanted to be the number 7. Do you think, though, that he should wear this number instead of Garnacho? For me, I think the number 7 shirt is way iconic, and Garnacho could be the person to wear that shirt. So, who should be Manchester United's new number 7? The source says that Garnacho should, and that is the reason why Sancho should not be. For me, it is up for grabs, and this is just a short video to speak on Jadon Sancho because many persons are saying that he should go on loan, he should be sold. So, why is it that Sancho wants to wear the number 7 shirt? Maybe by way of spirituality. If he puts on that number 7 shirt, he may become the new Ronaldo. I don't know. But watching Jadon Sancho, I don't want to be disrespectful because confidence is everything in some cases. But for him, I don't think he should wear the number 7 shirt. Let him stay with the number 25. Suppose another player came in who can wear that number, like even a Mason Mount based on the transfer saga that is taking place. But if Ten Hag wants to give Sancho, let him give it to him. But they are considering Garnacho because of how well Garnacho is playing. And I think Garnacho is a light wire. I always say that Manchester United should have an Argentine in the front line because it reminds me of Aguero when he's playing at Man City. And I think what I'm saying in the past is coming through. I said that before Premier 7 was born. But yeah, this is my say. So, do you think that Sancho is the man for the number 7 shirt? For me, he is not. They're considering Garnacho. But for me, maybe Garnacho. Maybe. If he can manage the pressure, give him the number 7 shirt. But I think they can wait to see if Garnacho develop more, then you could give him the number 7 shirt. It is up for the club to decide. But for me personally, Sancho should not be. So, as I've said before, it was a quick video and it was based on why Jadon Sancho should not be Manchester United new number 7 by way of a player profile, limited amount of goals. That is one reason. He had to remove himself from social media for a while because he missed England calling for the World Cup in 2022 and he had to train as an amateur to get himself back into form. And this season again, well, last season, because it is a new campaign coming up, he's still not beyond that level to perform. He played more games under Ten Hag, but less games under Solskjaer, and he's still not the Sancho. So, what is your say? For me, as I've said before, no for Sancho. But it is my time to go on this quick video. Hope it was a blessing for you all. And I don't forget the transfer news. I just had to pull your minds away from the stress and speak about Jadon Sancho. So continue to watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Premier 7 for more awesome news. Take care and goodbye for now.